Hey y'all, sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties. Like as soon as the music stopped, my camera went out, so I had to go out and come back in. Hey, you guys. Child, my head look a mess. That's all right. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna get this taken care of. Baby, I'm gonna go see my mama today. And as I was leaving, she gonna say, "I don't think I like your hair." I said, she was like, I know you probably don't care, and you didn't ask me, but I've been looking at you the whole time you've been here, and I don't think I like it. She was like, I always like your hair, but I don't think I like that. I was like, thank you. I mean, what you supposed to say to that? Like, what you supposed to say to that? Like, thank you, mama. I said, well, my look, I said, listen, this hair has been through a lot in the last week. It's a week old, and I got my money's worth. Okay. Anyway, child, my mama is a mess, but gotta love her. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Um, I'm sorry. What is it? Child, this thing is getting on my nerves. I swear it is. Why is it not? Never mind. Okay, I was trying to do something, but forget it. I'll fool around with it later. So yeah, right, Gabby, baby. That's how my mama talk though. She just is she saying so nice, and you be like, but anyway, y'all, happy Friday. Let's get into the things of the things of the things. So, first of all, I have a couple of questions before we get started. I put them in the chat. One, have you voted today? Have you voted in the Starlight Awards today? Have you voted for me, Abby, L, Teddy, Scotty, give you the real tea, yada, yada, yada? Okay. If you haven't, please do that. Number two, have you got your raffle ticket? And I know I didn't put any of the links in the chat. I will. But have you gotten your raffle ticket? If you don't, please, take care of that too. And I will put that link in the chat. I'll get the links in the chat. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm making a mess. And number three, um, y'all don't post the link anymore. I do. I post the link. I post the link in every chat, Gabby. I do. I'll get it for you, but I do. I post the link in every live. I post the link. And I post it on my social media. I don't post it every single day on Instagram, but I do post it. I post it like every other day. You just don't see it, but I post it. Hey, Miss French Kiss. And last but not least, I should say, are you subscribed to Really Be TV, my main channel? Because I'm going to be making an announcement this evening, and I want to make sure everybody is getting the information. So if you are not subscribed to Really Be TV, please make sure you are subscribed. Okay, Cajun, if you don't mind, make yourself useful. You a mod. Can you drop the link for Really Be TV, my main channel, please, in the chat? So if people are not subscribed, they can get subscribed. And I will get the link for the vote in a minute. I'll pull that in a minute. Just remind me. We have 2 episodes to get through when it comes to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'll be honest with y'all. I forgot I hadn't watched last week's episode. I forgot I had not watched last week's episode. So last night I watched back-to-back episodes. And let me say something. What I wrote and I do have a few notes, but the main thing I wrote in my notes is Dorit is exhausting. Dorit has always been exhausting, but she is extra exhausting now because now, instead of her being other people's lapdogs, she has found a few lapdogs. Bose is one, and now Rachel is one. But Rachel is one because Rachel is going through her own divorce, and I think she's more worried about how the lady's going to treat her going through her divorce more so than what Dorit has going on. But let's get into it. Thank you, Cajun, thank you, Boo. There's if you're not subscribed, get subscribed, please. Chuck, I know you are, Boo. So we are still at the dinner for the birthday dinner for Dorit and for Erica's birthday, right? We're at the birthday dinner. And Dorit is confronting Amanda. Now, let me say this. Amanda is insufferable because Amanda is, let me tell you the type of person that Amanda is that scares me. Amanda is the type of white, and I'm sorry, I just gotta call a thing a thing. She is the kind of white woman that is scary because she's a gaslighter. She says things so calm, and she says things so matter of fact, and she says things, and she talks like this, and very unassuming, that she'll really have you second guessing your own first name if you listen to her long enough. And that is a scary person to me. And we already know what a white woman's tears will do. And so it is scary for me to see how she works. However, Dorit is exhausted. So I really don't feel sorry for Dorit that she didn't got caught up in Amanda's web. But when baby, Amanda said you were aggressive. You verbally assaulted me. And then she read the definition. Baby, when she pulled out her phone and said, I think I'm using the right word. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah. And then she read the definition. I said, oh, she got time for y'all. Baby, Bose was looking confused. Bose was like, we know the definition of the word. What are we doing right now? What's going on? And the one thing that Amanda said that I did agree with, when Bose was like, you can't control how people because first she was saying you can't control how people speak to you or whatever. And the one thing I agree with what Amanda said was, Amanda was like, so you don't believe in boundaries? Because you're right, you can't control how people speak to you, but you can control giving people access to you that you feel like disrespect you. And I feel like that's what Amanda was saying. I don't think Amanda was saying, oh, I'm going to control how people talk to me. I think Amanda was saying, if you're going to talk to me crazy, you're not going to have access to me to do it again. That's how I took it. Because you're right. I've always told people, I can't control what somebody will do to me once. I can control what they'll do to me twice. I ain't gonna sit here and say what somebody will never do to me one time because I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you what they won't do to me twice because they're not gonna have access to me to do it a second time. And so that's why I was like, Bose, girl, stop. And you being the boss that you are, you know good and damn well that you don't let people disrespect you. You know good and damn well that you don't let people talk to you crazy in a subordinate position. Now, maybe when there are people who have seniority over you, that's different. But when you are the boss, which, Bose, you have been the boss. You have been the head honcho, the name on the letterhead. You don't let people talk to you crazy. So I felt like when she said that, I was like, girl, come on. And baby, when Amanda was like, so you don't believe in boundaries? I said, ooh. Baby, I said, ooh. And then when Dorit, and the thing that pisses me off, Dorit, is, Dorit, you were really making a big deal about this woman. All that woman said was, she need to be careful about what she says publicly about her husband because it clearly pisses him off. That is all she said. That's all she said. And Dorit, let's be clear. Everybody has told you that. Now, they may have said it in different ways. And Kyle was right when she said, both can say the exact same thing that I say, but when I say it, it pisses her off. When Bo says it, she receives it. So, Dorit, you were upset tomorrow. You were talking about me behind my back. Girl, you've been on this show for 6 seasons. You talked about everybody behind their back. You have had those same conversations. You know the game. So you were really dropping your balls on the table and trying to assert your dominance over Amanda, the new girl. I don't want to use the word haze because I think we kind of overused that word. I don't think they were hazing Amanda, but I definitely feel like Dorit was trying to let her know the pecking order and that she was HBIC. That's what I believe Dorit was trying to do. And she was trying to maybe intimidate Amanda a little bit. And Amanda was like, I'm not intimidated. I'm not afraid. I'm not scared of none of y'all. That's what I took from that. And then Amanda, so smooth. Baby, did y'all see how Amanda so smooth was like, all I did was agree with Kyle? Bitch. She said, all I did was agree with Kyle. That's all I did. We were talking, and I agree with her. So you mad at me. And then Dorit took the bait, and you're going to say, first Dorit was like, well, I'll deal with Kyle. Like, first she was trying to make, first she didn't take the bait and was like, I'll deal with Kyle. That's a different conversation. I don't understand why she said anything, but that's a different conversation. And Dorit, that's disingenuous. You know why she said something, because she told you. She literally told you to your face that she felt like maybe you need to chill out on what you say publicly about PK and y'all's divorce. So don't sit here and act like you don't understand why Kyle said it, because Kyle said it, and she said it to you. Again, playing games. Baby Dorit. So then I guess Dorit realized she wasn't getting nowhere with Amanda. So then she want to come after Kyle. Again, you don't have any reason to be mad at Kyle. You really don't, because I don't think, because let me tell you, and I might be all over the place with this review, y'all, because it's 2 episodes. So work with me if I'm going into the second episode. But what pissed me off about that situation with Dorit was, you don't have a problem talking to Kyle or tapping into Kyle when you want her access to PK. Well, Kyle, what did PK say? Well, what do you know? Well, what did Mauricio tell you? Well, what did PK tell Mauricio? See, it's cool for Kyle to talk to Mauricio and to talk to PK when you want information from her. But then when the information isn't what you want to hear, or she doesn't agree with your version of the story, then all of a sudden it's a problem. See, that's not fair to Kyle. Don't get me wrong. Last year, when Kyle kind of lied about whether her and PK was still having conversations and stuff, I was kind of like, all right, Kyle, girl, you need to pick a side. You need to figure out what you're going to do here. When friends get divorced, unfortunately, it's hard to stay neutral. Now, I know Erica's like, I'm just neutral. I ain't got nothing to say. But Erica, you're not really neutral, and you're not in the same situation that Kyle is in. Erica, it's easy for you to just be like, Dorit, you're right. Dorit, you're right. Dorit, you're right. You don't have a relationship with PK. Kyle had or has a relationship with PK. Kyle has a relationship with her husband that she's separated from. They seem to talk all the time. They seem to be in a good friend space. And Mauricio and PK are like best friends. So it's easy for you to say, well, I just wouldn't get in it. Kyle isn't quite in that. And then Dorit, you put Kyle in it when you asked her, well, can you ask Mauricio to talk to PK? See, that's not fair. Either you want her in it or you want her out of it. You can't use her to get in it when you think it's going to work in your favor. That's not fair. That's not fair. And Kyle said, Cajun, you about to get blocked. You getting on my nerves now. You about to get blocked. So when Kyle was like, Dorit, all I said was the same thing I've been saying, is if you know that it pisses off, PK and it's making your communication with PK hard, why do you keep doing it? And Dorita's like, I'm just being open and honest. I'm being open and honest. Like, that's her catchphrase. I'm being open and honest. I'm being open and honest. I'm being open and honest. And I'm like, but being open and honest when you're on a television show and being open and honest see, and that's the part where Rachel kind of got on my nerves, because Rachel, she starts crying because of course she's going through her divorce and everything had hit the blogs and she was all upset. And she was like, I just don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged. But Rachel, you're not in the same situation as Dorit. Nobody is telling Dorit that she can't vent to her friends. Nobody is telling Dorit that you have to lie or hide if you're having a bad day or if you're going through something. What they're saying is PK has already expressed publicly that he doesn't like you discussing him. Better yet, he doesn't like you lying on him. Because that letter he sent last year during the reunion, he basically said, look, you're lying. I don't think he would have a problem if what you were saying in his mind was true. You're talking about his alcoholism. You're talking about him being an absentee father. You're talking about all of these things, the finances. And what PK is saying is that information that you're putting out there isn't true. He's not, I don't think nobody is telling you can't talk about your divorce. Nobody's telling you can't talk about having a bad day. What they're telling you is be careful what you're saying on camera, because he kind of gave you a warning. That letter he wrote was a really nice way of saying, keep my name out your mouth. And I think that's what all the rest of the ladies are telling you. Rachel, your situation is not that situation. You really haven't said anything nasty about your husband as far as, I mean, you said that he cheated on you, and you still didn't come right out and say he cheated on you. What you said was he went public with his girlfriend less than a month after we separated. You do the math. That's what she said. She kind of led us down the road to believe that the man cheated. She didn't tell us anything. You know what I'm saying? As far as what she said when they were in the Hamptons, she talked about the fact that things just didn't end well, and that it was a really bad, at the end, it was really, really bad. And she went through a lot. She still has not gotten into the details, and she may eventually, but right now she says she's trying to keep it cordial because they are in mediation, and she didn't want too much of it to be public. So Rachel, I don't think you're going to get the same response from the ladies that Dorit is getting. But anyway, Dorit, you are manipulating the Real Housewives platform. One thing about Beverly Hills, they're going to overreact by group chatter like it's the ultimate betrayal. Right, V. Spencer. Rachel got a little interjection going on. Yeah, and I agree. I think she took a little bit about that conversation, and because she's going through a divorce, she sort of internalized it. And I just don't think that's going to be your story, girl. But again, the season's early, child. We don't know where this thing is going to go. So anyway, that's pretty much how the dinner ended, with Dorit and Bowles talking to Rachel outside while she was crying. Baby, them cakes came, and Jennifer Tilly told them to take them cakes back in the kitchen because we weren't ready yet. Baby, Kyle said, I'm ready to go home. Bring them cakes back out here. She was like, Kyle was like, bring them cakes back out here. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm done. And I don't blame you, Kyle. Again, Kyle ain't always my favorite person, but in this situation, I'm with her. I'm Team Kyle when it comes to this Dorit thing. I was Team Kyle last season. If you really want me to be honest about the matter, my only issue with Kyle last season was that she wasn't honest about it. Like, girl, if you had just said, listen, I do talk to PK because I was cool with PK. He's going through sobriety. I'm going through my sobriety. We've bonded on something that don't have shit to do with you. Yes, I've talked to him. Now, if it really bothers you and you really don't want me to do it, then fine, whatever. But honestly, I was Team Kyle last season. Bo's daughter got her driver's license, and she bought her a new Maserati. I thought that was cute. I thought it was really cute that Bo's had all of them wear t-shirts with her daughter's driver's license on it. I thought it was cute. I mean, if I'm being honest, Bo's irritates me on a lot of levels, but on certain things, I really, really, really love Bo's. I love how one thing I do love is Bo's is going to stay authentically Black. And that scene when she's talking to the doctor, we're not there yet. She has on that actively Black sweatsuit. You know, that's a Black-owned company. They had that epic runway show at New York Fashion Week last year, earlier this year. It was earlier this year where they had that epic runway where they brought out all the civil rights icons. They had Martin Luther King's daughter. They had Ruby Bridges. They had two of the guys from the Olympics that held their fist up. They had the guy the photographer who took the picture of him drinking out of the white water fountain, Malcolm X's daughter, Martin Luther King's daughter. Like, I thought that runway show was so epic, and I absolutely love that they did that. What you mean she can't drive? She got her driver's license. She absolutely can drive. What you mean? She passed her driver's license test. The next scene, and we see that Kyle is looking for venues for the daughter's wedding. Their daughter is just different, right? She's very bohemian. So they found this ranch situation that they're going to probably pay a whole lot of money to a party. I said what I said. Well, but what you said ain't Balls need a new hairstylist. Well, that's a different conversation. Her daughter being able to drive is one thing. Her needing a different hairstylist, that's a different conversation. Anyway, so we saw Mauricio show up, and Mauricio's taking DJ lessons. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. Mauricio's going through a midlife crisis. He is sowing his wild oats. He is enjoying his life. He said, I have a lot of extra time on my hand. Translation, I don't have to entertain my wife no more. I can do what I want to do when I want to do and how I want to do it. But that was a cute scene. I mean, all I know is when Kathy Hilton shows up at that dirt farm, baby, she gonna have some things to say. But listen, one thing I feel like is I'm not the type of person that's, even if I had gotten married, I just don't think I would have had a big wedding. And that's just never been my mentality. I've never been that person. I've just never been that person. But at the same time, if a bride was to have a crazy wedding, if it's within her budget. Now, what I don't agree with is when you spend the money you don't have. But baby, if you have the money to spend it, baby, do what you want on your wedding. If you want to send out text messages as wedding invitations instead of a traditional formal invitation, it's your wedding, child. I don't care. You just save me $300-$400 on the invitation, baby. Send your text messages, send your evites, send your punch bowls, baby. Do your thing, okay? Do your thing, okay? So then we have Kathy Hilton and we have Rachel. Again, I really feel like this is Rachel internalizing what she saw at the table, thinking that the ladies are going to judge her based on what they did with Dorit. Rachel, you're not the same. They're not going to come at you that way. I definitely thought this was a cute scene. That damn Kathy Hilton sitting there getting her IV. You know, and I know y'all get sick of me saying this. They show Bowles and Bowles' friend trying to teach her how to drive, and it was scary. A lot of people have passed a driver's test but can't drive. Hell, I might be one of them. Well, but when you said can't drive, I thought you meant like she didn't have her driver's permit. Yeah, I mean, most people are not ready to drive when they get their driver's license. And I'm not saying that I would spend $100,000 on a car for my child, even if I had the money to do it. But listen, she got it. It's her thing, baby. You know, I don't know. I don't care. Spend your money, girl. Spend your money. Girl, I was annoyed trying to do table setting for people I barely like. So we took our wedding budget and spent it on the honeymoon. And that's the kind of, let me tell you something. I always said I wanted a destination wedding. When I say I always say, probably from my early 30s, I say that. I wanted a destination wedding. And I said, I will pay for the in-laws. Anybody else that want to come to my wedding, that's on them. But I would pay for my parents and his parents. If my siblings wanted to come, they had to pay for it. If his siblings wanted to come, everybody was more than welcome to come. But the only people I was paying for were going to be my parents and his parents. That's it. That's all. And if nobody else showed up, oh well, nobody else showed up. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, Tracy, because baby, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one. Next we have is a very heartbreaking scene, but I think a scene that we're not surprised to see. Bo's eggs did not fertilize the way they needed to fertilize, and therefore they were no good. It was cute when they bought Porsche. That was cute. Or Porsche, a Porsche. Let me say something. And I want to be very careful in my words because I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I am saying. Women have every right. Your body, you do what you want with your body. So I'm in no way, shape, or form judging her for wanting to have children at her age. I'm not even going to judge her for wanting to have children with a man that some people may think is a questionable decision. What I am saying, or what I am going to say, is you almost died having your daughter. I don't think, totally my opinion, I don't think putting your life on the line at your age, with all the other risk and all the other things you have to do to your body, to have a child with a man that you are not even married to yet. At this point, they weren't even engaged. I just think that's a lot. I'm in no way, shape, or form encouraging. I'm in no way, shape, or form happy that it didn't work out. Baby, I want you to have what you have. But I just think that's a lot, y'all. And again, I don't want anybody to misunderstand what I'm saying. Don't come at me with no bullshit, because I ain't say nothing about her not. I'm just saying, I just think it's a lot. Bo's storyline is recycled from Quad. Not technically, because she started this last season. So technically it wasn't really recycled from Quad. It was just both of them are doing the same thing at the same time. Chuck said he was a courthouse or a backyard wedding and then a very sexy honeymoon destination. Exactly. I want to go to the Maldives. If I ever did get married, which at this point it ain't looking like it, but I want to go to the Maldives, but I definitely want to go to the Maldives with a man. I do not want to take a girl's trip to the Maldives. I just don't. But I want to go to the Maldives. But again, I just feel like that's a man trip. Okay. Bowles let her biological clock tell her what to do, not her common sense. Yeah. Because to me, when she told the story about almost dying, I just don't understand it. To me, and then for her to say in her confessional, he wants a child, and if I can't give him a child, I don't know what that means for us. Well, you do know. That's your answer. If you are telling me that y'all's relationship is contingent upon whether you can give him a child, then you do know what it is for you know what that means for your relationship. And again, I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. People have non-negotiables. For some people, a child is a non-negotiable. I'm not saying he's wrong for it being a non-negotiable. What I am saying is you're wrong for getting in a relationship based on the fact that you know his non-negotiable is a child and you can't give him one, or you don't think you can give him one, or you weren't sure if you could give him one. That is what I'm saying. And nothing wrong with that being a non-negotiable for a man, especially a man that doesn't have children. I don't think that's wrong for him saying, I want children, and that's a non-negotiable for me. Ain't nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is y'all going into this situation if that's a non-negotiable for him and you don't know if you can do it. Now you're willing, clearly, but your body may not be able to do it. Anyway. So the last scene of this episode, we have Dorit, we have child, why I can't remember the lady name. Dorit, Rachel, and Sutton. Child, how I forget Sutton name? Baby, did you see how fast she backed up off of Sutton? She was getting ready to come for Sutton because she said she felt like Sutton started all of this and Sutton didn't even speak up and Sutton didn't even say anything. And she was like, well, Sutton, I was very disappointed in you because you didn't back me up or you didn't have my back. Sutton was like, what the fuck was I supposed to say? She said, Dorit, you were doing a great job all by yourself. You really didn't need me. I'm not really sure what I was supposed to do. Well, you're the one that told me she said it. You started all of this. You're the one that told me she said it. Yeah, I did my part. I told you she said it. Amanda never denied saying it. Amanda never denied saying it. Well, what you wanted Amanda to do was to apologize, and she wasn't going to do that. What you wanted Amanda to do was make it seem like it was a bigger deal than what it was, and she wasn't going to do that. She never said she didn't have the conversation. What she said was, all I did was agree with Kyle. That's it. And honestly, what she said at dinner when they went over to Kathy's house to kiss the ring, because that's what those lunches are at Kathy's house, she kissing the ring. When Amanda went over to Kathy's house to kiss the ring and Sutton was there, all Amanda said was, I don't think it's necessarily a good idea to be calling her soon-to-be ex-husband a drunk on national television. I mean, I just don't know if that's a good idea or not. Baby, that's all she said. Like, so yeah, Sutton carried that bone, but there was no meat on that bone. There's just no meat on that bone. And then I do agree with this. Honestly, regardless of how I might feel about Amanda, once Amanda said, baby, this is the anniversary of my son's death. I'm doing my best right now. I'm holding on the best I can. Honestly, it really could have been the end of that conversation. Like, I know we're filming the show. I know we're trying to make a scene. I know production probably told y'all to talk about it. But baby, once that woman said, listen, my son died on this day, and I'm doing all I can to hold it together, every single person at that table is a mother. At that point, that conversation should have been mute. It should have been mute. Nobody should... Dorit should have said, you know what? Can we finish this conversation? I'm so sorry. I did not know. But can we finish it later? Can we go out to lunch next week? Can we sit down and talk? Because I really do want to finish this conversation. But you're right. Today isn't the day. That's it. That's all. But Dorit, the fact that you kept going, and then when Amanda brought it up to you again and said, and you kept talking even after I told you that, baby, Dorit still kept talking. Because Erica Jane damn near threw, was it Lisa Rinna, off the rooftop for just merely mentioning that her child was a police officer. Was it Lisa Rinna she got nasty with, or was it Sutton? Maybe it was Sutton. I don't remember. But Erica Jane I mean, the way she reacted, and all that person said was that her son was a police officer. And he was grown. So the fact that the way we respect other people's children, I just feel like that should have been the end of it. And again, don't get me wrong, Amanda got some shit with her. And I'm not an Amanda fan, but y'all know me. I'm gonna take it on a scene by scene basis. That is how she talks to PK. That's why PK has left her. But anyway, that's another conversation, chat. We're about to get to that in a minute. So while they were talking, and then they started talking about Amanda and how, it's a lot going on with Amanda and how they don't really trust Amanda. And that's the other thing. Dorit, when Dorit's back was against the wall, she's going to throw out the cult thing. It was so awkward and weird how you threw it in there. And let me tell y'all something. Did y'all see what Jennifer Tilly said in her confessional? And this is what I was trying to say with the Married to Medicine stuff a couple of weeks ago when they were talking about Dr. Simone looking up people's information. Jennifer Tilly said, we all look up each other. She said, I have Googled everybody on this show. I know everything there is to know publicly about everybody on this show. She said, and everybody does it. If they tell you that they don't look people up, if they tell you they haven't Googled anybody, if they tell you they don't know anything about anybody, they're lying. We all do it. And I said, exactly, Jennifer. And that is what I was saying about the whole Married to Medicine thing. Again, they all do it. They all do it. And somebody in my chat was like, that doesn't make it right. I love how y'all hear one thing and y'all take it to the left. I never said it was right or it was wrong. What I said was that they do it. So for them to make it seem like Simone is violating some rule or something when all of them do it. So when Jennifer Tilly was like, child, we Google each other. So it was public information. It's not like the cult is a secret. It was just weird how Dorit threw it out there. Like, oh, you're acting like you're so sensitive. Like I accosted you and you escaped from a whole cult. Baby, one don't have nothing to do with the other. What does her escaping a cult have anything to do with what y'all talking about right now? Girl, y'all talking about her having a conversation about your husband behind your back. What the hell does that have to do with the cult? And I agree with what Gabby said. Gabby said what's wrong in the bold situation is trying to have a baby for a man with no commitment. Ding, 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 ding. Come to the front of the class, Gabby. Yes. Absolutely. Matter of fact, let me put the comments up here, child. Let me put these comments up here on the screen, honey. Yes. I agree, Gabby. So now, on the other hand, Kyle is having a conversation with Amanda, and she's basically expressing her frustration with Dorit. She's like, and I've kind of already said this, so I'm not going to go through every single thing. But she was just like, I'm just in a no-win situation when it comes to Dorit right now. Like right now, Dorit is angry and she's lashing out, and I don't think that we can get to a better place until she's in a better place. Because at this point, there's just nothing I can do. I just don't think there's anything I can do. And she's right. Because Dorit has decided that Kyle is the problem. And there really is there's nothing you can do. There's really nothing you can do. Kyle, Rachel is going to the Hamptons. Now, listen, I don't know a lot about Rachel Zoe. I know who she is, but I didn't watch any of her other reality shows. I don't really follow her like that. I mean, I know she's a boss. I know she's a baddie. I know she's all of that. But I guess she comes from money. I guess she comes from money because it seems like she grew up going to the Hamptons regularly, and she grew up in New York. So I guess she got a little money. But she said, I'm used to spending my summers in the Hamptons, and I miss my friends in New York, and I need to get to the Hamptons. So she's going to take a little weekend trip to the Hamptons, and she wants to take Kyle, and she wants to take Dorit. But she said, listen, I'm not doing the fight and the arguing. I need to get out of this. I need to get out of LA. I need my happy place. I need my zen. And yeah, I want to take the two of y'all because I'm cool with y'all, but I can't do y'all fighting all weekend long. Dorit, this how you know Dorit ain't never been nowhere and Dorit don't have nothing. Baby, did y'all see how happy Dorit was to get that invitation to the Hamptons? And the whole time, she didn't know how to act. Did y'all see how she was walking through the Hamptons? We're in the Hamptons. We're in the Hamptons. Now, let's be clear. If I got an invitation to the Hamptons, I would probably be acting the same way. But I don't pretend like I got it. I don't pretend like I've been there before. I ain't never been to the Hamptons. And I damn sure ain't been to the Hamptons with rich people. So I'm not going to pretend. But Dorit act like she been there and done that. And girl, it doesn't look like you have. But neither here nor there. Is she still saying I died? Oh, I guess. I don't know. I watched Rachel reality show, but when she was younger, she was trying to have her own ID, and she was styling business. If you need a happy, why are you talking to fight? If you need a happy, why are you taking the two fighting hands? Yeah, that's true. She started a styling business. Yeah. I thought, but not only on PK's dime, remember she had lived in Europe before she even met PK, right? But anyway, child. But look, we know she got that fake accent anyway because Dorit grew up in fucking Connecticut. But anyway, child, y'all know Dorit is full of it. Y'all know Dorit is full of it. Hold on a second, y'all. Sorry, I need some water. Okay. Kyle says she hasn't talked to Dorit, but she ready to go. And baby Dorit said, I don't care what I gotta do. I'm going to the Hamptons. I mean, I don't care where I gotta get these kids. I don't care who I gotta get these kids to. Baby, I'm going to the Hamptons. And I found it real funny. When they got ready to get on that plane to go to the Hamptons, and Dorit was late. First of all, Dorit is always late. So you trying to blame, talking about I only got a couple of hours of sleep because PK agreed to take the kids, but he was later picking them up than what he said. Here's what I find real interesting, and we're gonna get to that conversation with you that you have with Mauricio. Here's what I find this is what I find very interesting. For somebody that you say you never talk to, for somebody that you say you have no communication with, for somebody that you say that is never with their kids, that never spends time with their kids, it's funny to me how he was available at the last minute to come and take the kids for the weekend. It's funny to me how you got in touch with him when you needed him so you could go film in the Hamptons for the weekend. It's funny to me how available he was when you needed something from him. I just find that to be very interesting, Dorit. I found that to be very, very interesting. Anyway, Amanda is having a manifestation party. Listen. Honestly, it just seemed like a real expensive vision board party. Like you gave them journals and basically gave them prompts for them to write in the journal. And then you complained when they were talking. What's the purpose of doing it in a group if we're not going to talk about what we're talking about? Like, if I wanted to just do journal prompts, you could have just sent them journals with prompts. If you wanted them to do it by themselves quietly. You brought all of them together. You chose, we know that they have to have these parties. Like, we know they have to do these journal parties, right? We got that. I mean, these parties, but you chose to have a manifestation party. That's what you chose to do. And then you got mad because they were talking about what they was going to journal. Child, we'll get to that party in a minute because that was a whole situation. I was actually surprised Kathy Hilton was even there, but y'all notice Kathy been at a lot of events this season. She's been at a lot of stuff. She's been at a lot of stuff this season. But anyway, we've seen Mauricio and Dorit meet up. Let me tell you something. Dorit, I'm really not sure what you thought you were going to get out of this. I don't know what. Number one, Mauricio is PK's friend. You said you thought you were going to get him unbiased. Maybe, maybe not. Number two, you walked in there basically, if Mauricio didn't agree with your version of the story, then it was a bust, and PK got to Mauricio, and he's such a a fish oil salesman, and I know him. I know what he does. I know his tricks. Baby, when Mauricio started the conversation off with, he showed me his phone, and I read all of the messages. Baby, Mauricio said, and I scrolled all of the messages. I read everything. And baby, the minute he said that, Dorit was like, no, you didn't read everything. You didn't see everything. Mauricio was like, yeah, I did. No, see, he picks and chooses what he wants to show you. Mauricio was like, no, I said, I read it all. I read what you said, what he said, what you said. I read all of it. And it seems like, oh, thank you, Miss Pretty Amazing. Not according to my mama, but okay. But he was like, no, I've read them. Like, it sounds like what he wants is a more structured schedule with the kids. And I told y'all that going back to the first episode when Dorit made it seem like PK was being unreasonable about the kids going to Florida. No, you were making plans for the kids without talking to PK, and he wanted to see his kids. So PK wasn't being the bad guy by wanting to spend time with his kids just because you decided to send them to Florida with your parents for a couple of weeks. He wasn't the bad guy. And he even said, fine, I'll come to Florida. And that still was the wrong answer. Honestly, I do not believe Dorit's side of the story. I believe what Mauricio said. I'm not saying that PK is perfect. But I do not believe that PK doesn't want to see his kids. I do not believe that. He said that PK even sent you paperwork, and she was like, I didn't get it. What do you mean? I didn't get it. And Mauricio was like, I literally saw it. Like I saw the email. Like I saw it. Show it to me. I didn't see it. Show it to me. And literally, she was like, and literally, when they looked at her messages, it was there. Like, Dorit, girl, you are being a bitter mother, and you're using your children as a weapon against PK. Because then she started talking about the money in the bank and how he blocked out what was in the bank, and she doesn't know how much money is there. Well, listen. I mean, when you go through a divorce, he's gonna have to show somebody. So that he can't hide. But Dorit went feeling through that phone like Jennifer Williams and came up with no receipts. Right. Because Mauricio was like, I literally read all of the receipts. I read them all. So then she moved the goalpost. Well, I want him to see the kids, but I want him to come with a clear mind. So then she gonna say on camera, well, he started drinking again. And you could tell Mauricio was uncomfortable with that. He was like, well, yeah, but he's not drinking like he was. He's not throwing them back. He has a couple of glasses of wine. It's not like it was. Now, what I will say is, PK, you said yourself, there's a soundbite of you saying yourself, there's no in between. Either you're an alcoholic or you're not. So, and I know that there are levels to this, but you drinking again is not a good look. Again, we on camera never saw, we saw PK drinking and stuff, and we saw PK drunk, but we never saw PK like violent or anything like that. So honestly, I don't know how bad the drinking got within the marriage from that perspective, only from what y'all have told us, right? But it's not a good look, PK, that you have started drinking. I'm sorry. It's not a good look. I've just got to be honest. But Dorit, I don't believe you when you try to make it seem like PK doesn't want to see his kids. PK doesn't want to spend time with his kids. Like, I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. Now, that's my opinion. He got a DUI. Yeah, he did get a DUI. He did. He got a DUI. But that conversation was going nowhere, and it was never going to go anywhere. The conversation was never going to go anywhere. And then later on, we saw where Kyle talked to Mauricio, and basically Mauricio was like, "Look, like she had her mind made up. She wouldn't let me really get my words in, and I just don't think it was, it just wasn't conducive, Dorit is sinking financially and needs to drag him for this show, but also is it being 100% honest? Baby, did y'all see the trailer for the rest of the season at the end of this episode where Dorit is spending, and they were talking about how Dorit is spending up all this money? I can't wait. It looks like by the end of the season, everybody is sick of Dorit, though. The way that trailer looked, it looked like everybody's sick of Dorit. Sutton's storyline, I'm gonna be honest, I can't put myself in her shoes because I've never been married, obviously, and I've never been married and had kids and married my high school sweetheart, yada yada yada. But this whole storyline with Sutton getting her marriage annulled and thinking about changing her name back to her maiden name, I don't care. Baby, you right. I can't listen. I would not be able to do 2 hours of Dorit for any reason. Any reason. And can you imagine? They edited that down to like a 5-minute conversation. Can you imagine 2 hours of that? And here's what we know. We know that there were no gotcha moments, because if there were any gotcha moments, we would have seen them. If there were any moments where Dorit was able to show a receipt that made PK look bad or that confirmed everything she was saying, baby, we'd have seen it. She wasn't expecting Mo to have read. Right. She was not expecting Mo. Not only was she not expecting Mo to have read the text, she wasn't expecting Mo to come in there and be like, so look, before you even get started, let me just let you know. Yeah, they definitely would have shown it, but you're right. Was it Trisha? You right. They were not. She was not ready for Mauricio to come in there and be like, "Now look, I done read all that shit. Okay, I'm not here to hash out who said what. I read it." Because his thing was, how do we get y'all to communicate in the best interest of the kids? The other thing is, I also think Dorit wants PK back. Not because she wants to be married to PK, but because she wants that financial stability. That is what she wants. And PK is not interested. I don't think PK is interested in getting back with her in any way, shape, or form. And that, I think, is her real frustration. Because she wants that financial stability. That's my opinion. Right. She didn't have, because if she had receipts, she would have shown them. Like I said, if there was an aha moment, if there was a gotcha moment, we'd have got it. But there just wasn't one. There just wasn't one. The ladies go to the VIP lounge and they wait on Dorit as usual. But is it me? Did y'all see them get on that JetBlue flight? And let's be clear. I don't even look at my nose down on JetBlue. I've flown JetBlue. I'm not looking my nose down at JetBlue. But y'all flew from LA to New York on JetBlue? Is it me or was y'all expecting something different? No disrespect. Maybe the JetBlue was just, they were getting a layover. Maybe they were just flying from LA to like Houston, and then they were getting like from here. I don't know. Whatever. I just saw JetBlue and it threw me off a little bit. I was just like, JetBlue. But anyway, so the ladies are off to the Hamptons while the other ladies are going to the manifestation party. Now, Amanda did not invite Dorit. She was like, look, I really didn't want to invite Dorit. No, it was not private, honey. No, they did not float. They do. And again, I ain't tripping over them flying commercial. I was just shocked. That's all. But anyway, they got to the Hamptons, honey. And they find out, and that's when Dorit finds out she wasn't invited to Amanda's house. Now, Amanda was like, look, I wasn't sure if I was going to invite Dorit or not, but when I found out they were going to the Hamptons, it made it easy on me, and I didn't even have to pretend, okay? I always thought JetBlue was similar to Spirit, but I could be wrong. I really could be wrong, y'all. I don't know. So they get to the Hamptons, and they have a conversation about divorce and men, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. And they go to dinner. And this is why I said that I would be excited about going to the Hamptons with rich people. Because they were literally having dinner, and Donna Karen just casually walks up to their table. Bitch, what? Donna Karen just was like, hey, y'all, what's up? Donna Karen just chilling, just hanging out. I just need to find me some rich friends. Just Donna Karen while they were sitting there, having dinner. Hey, ladies. Hi. Anyway. And again, they're at this manifestation party. Again, I just feel like nobody really gave a damn about this manifestation party. Amanda, once again, does JetBlue have TVs in their headrest? Child, I don't know, little baby. I don't know. Again, she gave them journals. She gave them little cups, for them to write their prompts for their journal in. And Amanda clearly has a control issue because she got upset. Like I said before, she got upset when the ladies were talking a little bit too much. And then she gave them an autographed copy of her book. Girl, don't nobody want your book. And then her mat in front of her door said, what did it say? Rich boss, rich something. Baby Bowles was like, this is nouveau riche, that you have to announce that you are rich. Money queen, that's what it was, money queen. That you have to announce that you are rich at your front door. Baby, that is nouveau riche. That is crass as fuck. Like, girl, these ladies are not feeling you, Miss Amanda. Not feeling you, Miss Amanda. While they're there, they do start trying to talk to Amanda about making up with Dorit. And this sort of irritated me because, again, I don't feel like Amanda did Dorit any worse than Dorit did Amanda. Like, I feel like fair exchange ain't never been no robbery. You know what I mean? I just don't feel like it was any. I don't feel like anybody was done wrong in that conversation. But again, they're still trying to figure Miss Amanda out. She just talked about how she manifested her life and how if more people would manifest their life, like, we would be great. And they were still trying to talk to her about conflict and how she's not going to be able to avoid conflict in this group, and that the group is that's just what they do. And she's going to have to figure out how to way to resolve the conflict without manifesting it. I don't know. In the Hamptons, Dorit was talking about her conversation with Mauricio, and baby, Kyle did the right thing. Kyle ain't say a word. Kyle was like, look, I don't know what else to say. I talked to Mauricio. I got the other side of the story. You're talking about your side of the story. I am not going to say, well, that's not what Mauricio said. Well, that's not what Mauricio said. She was like, I ain't in it. My name Paul. That's between y'all, baby. She sat there, ate her salad, and she ain't say a motherfucking word. And I said, Kyle, that's the smartest thing your ass done. That is the smartest thing you have done. Because you can't win. Exactly, Chuck. You just sitting there and Donna Karen just walks up to your table. Bitch, what? Because I'm one of those people, when I have spotted celebrities, I don't bother celebrities. Like, I'm not a can I get your autograph person. I'm not a can I get a picture person. If it's a opportune moment, yes. But I would not walk up to somebody in a restaurant and be like, oh my gosh, you're so-and-so. Can I have a picture? I'm not saying there's anything wrong for people who do. I'm just saying, for me, I just don't. I remember I was on the elevator one time with Clifton Davis. We were at A&T's homecoming, and Clifton Davis was there. Why? I don't know. I don't know if he was. I don't know. But Clifton Davis was there, and I was on the elevator, and you know how when you like, he looked like Clifton Davis, and I looked, and I was trying not to stare, but I was like, that looked like Clifton Davis. And then just as he was getting ready to get off the elevator, I said, you Clifton Davis, aren't you? And he just started laughing. He was like, you've been trying to figure that out the whole time. I said, I sure have. And then we went on about our business. It's just, I don't know. I've just never been that person. Would you do it for Whoopi Goldberg? I would lose my shit if yes. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I would probably be scared to walk up to Whoopi Goldberg, but I would want to. I definitely, yeah. There's certain people I probably would, but just a general, hey, how you doing kind of person. I mean, like, if I saw Michelle Obama, yeah. If I saw Whoopi Goldberg, I know I love me some Whoopi. If I saw Oprah, I know a lot of people don't fuck with Oprah, but I love Oprah. If I saw Oprah, but again, I don't know if I would be like, can I take a picture? I think I might speak to them, though. Let them know I love them and how much I respect them. You know what I mean? I still don't know if I would literally, I don't know if my brain would think, get a picture. I just don't know if it would. I would fan out for Keith Morrison from Dateline or Diane Sawyer. Right. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just, again, I don't know. I remember a friend of mine, her and her mom ran into Kevin Hart at the airport one time. And they were at Vegas, and they were both leaving they were both leaving. And they ran into, and she said that her mom asked Kevin Hart for a picture, And he was like, yeah. And so they were taking the picture, but she said her mom was acting so crazy that even Kevin Hart had to be like, all right, calm down. You're doing a lot. And she was like, I was so embarrassed because I was like, the man already agreed to take a picture. You don't have to be all extra. Like her mother was like hugging him and wouldn't let go and was like, oh my God. And she was like, I was so embarrassed. Like even to the point where he had to say, all right, calm down. Like you getting a picture, you know? And I was like, if you see Anita Baker, make sure you cross the street. Oh, I wouldn't even try to speak to Anita Baker, evil ass. Child, no. Michelle is a sister girl, nice AF. She still calls mama on her birthday. Oh. All right, y'all. Well, that was pretty much the 2 episodes. I'm getting ready to we'll be live at 7:00 on the main channel where we're going to do a tribe meeting, but I also have a major announcement to make. So y'all meet me over there at 7:00. Donna Ross is your all-time number one. If I saw Donna Ross, I don't know what I would do. I don't know. Who's the most famous person you met? I don't know. Because again, I just don't think of celebrities like that. So a lot of, I don't know. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, I did meet that person. I don't know. I just can't think of, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I can't. I mean, I've met football players. I've met basketball players. I've met singers. This guy I was dating one time, one of his best friends was Jazz from Drew Hill. We used to be around him all the time. You know what I mean? Like, another friend of mine was really good friends with Le'Veon Bell from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've been around him. Like, it just depends on when you say the most famous person. I mean, I don't know. I guess I guess it depends on who you think is famous. Like some people, like if you're not into sports, it wouldn't impress you that I've been around Le'Veon Bell. You know what I'm saying? If you're not into sports, you might not even know who the hell it is. You know, if you're not in the 90s R&B, 2000 R&B, you might not be impressed that I be around jazz all the time. You know what I mean? So I guess it just depends. My husband saw Dietrich Hatton at Target in LA, and that fool had the audacity to be rude. Ciao. I mean, I've met politicians. You know what I mean? It just depends. I mean, you know what I mean? Y'all know I went to high school with the mayor of DC, Mario Bowser. We went to high school together. I know Mario very well. You know, I had a job opportunity to work in her office. Like, I've known several mayors and council members for DC. I've been in politics, you know. So I guess it just depends. I've met senators, I've met congressmen. It depends. One of the congresswomen for North Carolina, Alma Adams, I worked on her campaign. She was a professor at Bennett when I went to Bennett. I worked on her campaign. I know Dr. Adams very well. You know what I mean? So I guess it just depends on what you would consider famous. I don't know. Absolutely not. If Donald Trump tried to say, no, absolutely not. Child, shut up. I do no cookie, honey. Shut up, the informed. I do no cookie, though. Yep. All right, y'all. Let me get out of here. But again, we'll be on the other channel at 7:00, and I will see y'all later. Peace.